Congresswoman Nancy Mace with us of South Carolina. She says this might be an opportunity to revisit those safety concerns and is leading a bipartisan push to do that for our nation's railway system. Congresswoman, always good to have you.
Thank you, Neil. Great to be back on.
Same here. What do you make of what is now Norfolk Southern's promise to make everything whole, East Palestine back in shape, and that they're the center point for this and no one else, pretty much?
Well, I appreciate their position on that. The buck stops there. I mean, they're the ones that had these train cars derail. It sounds like based on the governor's comments, they're the reason that the explosion happened, and we saw the plumes of smoke. And therefore, for the last 3 weeks, we've seen horrific videos and photos of dead animals, of people that are explaining their ailments so that they're afraid to drink the water and can't go back to their homes. And so I think that someone needs to take responsibility for this. And it's good to see that happening. But, I think that there's some fault here that can be laid bare at the federal level, too, and even the state level. I don't think there's necessarily any innocent parties here. This is a huge issue, one of the largest environmental disasters in my lifetime that's affecting thousands and thousands of people. And quite frankly, it took 3 weeks for the Secretary of Transportation to get there as well. We all got to work together on this, and I do believe this would be an opportunity, and I hope it will be an opportunity to do that in this Congress, to fix the problems that we're having with the rail.
You mentioned, Congresswoman, the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, and he pointed the finger at the Trump administration for easing up on a lot of safety rules and standards. Actually, a lot of that easing up, if you want to call it that, predates even the Trump administration. It goes back more than a decade. But having said that, do you think that we have to tighten these up to the point, get back to where we were, but not only get back to where we were, but toughen up standards that allow a train carrying a dangerous, hazardous material, even if it's a single car in a 150-car train, to report and notify communities through which it's passing?
Right. Well, it doesn't help when you're just simply pointing fingers. And some of the information we got out of the Department of Transportation regarding the previous administration, some of it was accurate, some of it has not been accurate. Pointing fingers doesn't help anybody. It doesn't resolve the situation, and it's just partisan politics. Just a few weeks after the derailment and explosion in Ohio, we had a train derail here in South Carolina. Come to find out, there were over 1,000 incidents just in the last year. So clearly, this is something that needs to be reviewed. I want to read the report on what happened in Ohio, but also what else is happening all around the country, and review the standards and how do we work together to ensure the safety of everybody, no matter the precious cargo that they're carrying. And so we have a lot of work to do ahead of us on this issue, but we have to stop pointing fingers at the opposite party and work together on this sort of thing so we can save lives and save our communities and keep people safe.
While I have you, and I hate to just leave into crass politics, but that's kind of what I do as well. South Carolina seems
I know you love doing this, Neil.
I know,
Hit me with
it. It's awful. But
Yeah.
I did want to get your take on your fellow South Carolinians, Nikki Haley, the former governor, and now Senator Tim Scott, and in his case, teasing a presidential run. What do you think?
I think it's amazing to see the kind of leadership coming out of the state of South Carolina. Both of them are constituents of mine. I sit behind Tim Scott at church, and Nikki Haley, I'll be quite frank, was the only federally elected official that had my back when I was primaried last year by the former president. And by the way, we won big with her support. So I am dear friends with her as well. And I haven't weighed in on 24 yet, but I've been very vocal about what I believe we need to do as a country. And I would love nothing more than to see a woman on the ticket. And she's qualified. She has foreign policy experience. She has executive experience. There are so many qualified women out there. And to see someone like her in the ring, in the arena, talking about the issues that she believes in is awesome. And I hope that we'll see more of that. It's going to be a very interesting primary, I believe, on both sides of the aisle. But the future, I believe, for our country could be very bright. And it's exciting to have two constituents being talked about so much. But one of the surprising things, Neil, is all the racism and sexism thrown Nikki's way. I've seen it myself as a female member of Congress, and it's very disappointing to see that. It's been very eye-opening over the last 2 weeks, too.
If memory serves me right, though, Congressman, you won that race substantially on your own. A lot of people were helping and vouching for you, but I think you did that on your own. So we'll see what happens, but it's always good having you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, be well. Nancy Mace of South Carolina.